Good morning, kiddos. Miss Aura here. Today is April 15. This video is for my fifth graders. We will be focusing on writing. So, fifth graders, I want to go over quickly one of your big writing standards. And one of your big writing standards is you are expected to be able to write real or imagined narrative writing. What that means is you should be able to write a real or imagined story with characters, sequence of events, including some dialogues, making sure that you have some transitional words in there so that the stories are told in the story is told in sequence. You should have clear verbs, vivid verbs, concrete words, sensory details so that your readers can clearly see what's happening in the story. And of course, your story should have a clear ending, a conclusion. Now, this is the big standard for writing. Today, our focus will be on how to write complete sentences. You need to be able to show command of the English language in your writing and speaking. Because but for your writing to be better for your writing to improve, you need to have a good command of the English language. Now we have been writing a narrative story before we left school. We had been writing about a time that we had eaten with our family, or we shared a meal with our family, right? So, but today I want us to I want our grammar skills to become stronger so that our writing can become clear. So, one way for us to improve our writing is to be able to understand the purpose of conjunctions, prepositions, and interjections and how they work in a sentence. Now, let's go ahead and start with conjunctions. What are conjunctions? Well, conjunctions, you can picture them as the glue that holds the sentence together, right? There are three different kinds. There's coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and correlative conjunctions. Now, coordinating conjunctions are, I would say, the more common one. You'll see them a lot more. And you can remember them with with the acronym FANBOYS: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. And you will see them more often. Now, subordinating conjunctions are words that shows relationship within the sentence. They're either showing you cause and effect, or comparison, right? Comparing between the ideas. Now, correlative conjunctions shows you that these two words have to be used together. Either or, not only, but, neither nor, both, and. Now, so if you're using the word either, the word or will be used there too. If you're using the word neither, the word nor will be used there too. Now, I do not expect you to memorize this or remember this. I do need you to know that they exist. That way, if you're writing and you're stuck and you say, you know what, there's a word missing here, I feel like I need to connect these two ideas. Well, come back to this video and look at this chart. Maybe that can help you. Maybe you're missing a conjunction, right? Now, another place for you to look at is this website, esl.com. It has a lot of tools and informations, resources for you to use so that you can improve in your writing. So again, conjunctions, think of it as a glue that can hold your sentence together. Now take a look at our the article we read about 3 weeks ago. So notice the author used some conjunctions here. Not a lot, some conjunctions. Perhaps the author decided, oh, I don't need to use that many conjunctions. Again, when you write, you're not thinking about, oh, I have to write a conjunction. When you're writing, you have to write what will make this sentence clear. And one way to make a sentence clear is perhaps using a conjunction. Okay? Now, the next part of speech that I'd like to teach you are prepositions. Now, there are a lot of prepositions, and this is not all of them. Obviously, again, ESL.com has a great list of them. I want you to just understand what they are. So go ahead and take some time to read the list while I explain to you what are prepositions. So preposition is a word that can link the verb, nouns, and pronouns together. So just think about that. It links the verbs, the nouns, and the pronouns. So it's really putting your noun, what you're talking about, to the action, the verb, what it's doing, putting them together, trying to connect your ideas together. Okay? Now it usually tells us a place or a location. It can also tell us the time, and it can also tell us direction. So we call this place prepositional prepositions of place. It can tell us time, prepositions of time, or directions. It can tell us prepositions of movement, how you're moving about. Next to would be your place, right? Time will be since. Oh, since that long time ago. So prepositions, again, is just a way for you to link your ideas. So let's see how many prepositions this author used in his writing. With, right? Athletes with disabilities. So connecting the word athlete and disabilities. To, among other sports. Another with. So now take a look at that last sentence. Now, some athletes are combining their own strengths with those of robotics in a new kind of competition. Imagine that sentence without prepositions. Now, some athletes are combining their own strengths, those of robotics, a new kind of competition. It just does not make sense. Prepositions allow us to clarify our ideas. Without these, it's just a fragmented sentence. Okay? So the last thing I want to teach you is interjections. Interjections show emotion. So they are not always related to the grammatically, but they should be related to what you're talking about. They're usually separated from the sentence prior to it. But you won't ever say, too bad, you graduated. I don't think that's something you would do. Or yuck, the pizza was delicious. You don't ever do that. So they are related to the sentence that you've written it prior to, but they are separated from that sentence. So for example, take a look at this example right here. Wow! Exclamation mark. That jump was amazing. So grammatically, they're not in the same sentence. They can stand on their own, but their ideas are related to each other. Okay, so interjections show emotion, and they are used at the beginning of another sentence, usually. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Let's see if we can use conjunctions, prepositions, and interjections in one of my writing. Before we left school, we were writing a narrative, and I was writing about the time I had shared dinner with my daughter. So this is one of the paragraph I had written. First, I must cook my daughter. Oh, that's already wrong, huh? I can't cook my daughter. That doesn't make any sense. I have to connect the idea of cooking and my daughter, and I shouldn't be cooking my daughter. So if I look at the list of conjunctions, I can see that perhaps using the word for will help that sentence. First, I must cook for my daughter. That makes sense. First, I must cook for my daughter, something I don't mind doing at all. I fried an egg, toasted her bread, placed her dinner. This also seems disconnected. I made a list of things I did. I fried an egg, toasted her bread, and the last thing I did was placed her dinner somewhere. So I should also add another conjunction there, and placed her dinner. Now I need to also add an idea here of where I placed her dinner, right? Placed her dinner where? On the table. So I fried an egg, toasted her bread, and placed her dinner on the table. She tried to finish her homework. She smiled when I placed the plate. She smiled when I placed the plate. I feel like this is missing a preposition in front of her. Right? I placed the plate in front of her. Let me reread and make sure this makes sense. First, I must cook for my daughter, something I don't mind doing at all. I fried an egg, toasted her bread, and placed her dinner on the table. She tried to finish her homework. I feel like this sentence here, she tried to finish her homework, is not connected to the rest of the idea. Why did I put that there? Well, I wanted to say that um, while I was cooking, she was trying to finish her homework. It's happening at the same time. So I think if I look up the prepositional list here, and I want to say it's happening at the same time, so I think the preposition as would be a good one there. Let me give that a try. Let's see. I fried an egg, toasted her bread, and placed her dinner on the table as she tried to finish her homework. There we go. I wanted to say that as I was cooking, she was finishing her homework. So it's happening at the same time. So that prepositional phrase of time helped with that sentence. I want to also put an interjection here because she smiled. So I want to say, great. She smiled when I placed the plate in front of her, right? I want to add that feeling of accomplishment. Great. She smiled when I placed the plate in front of her. So there's an interjection that I think can go there. So I'd like for you to give it a try. Look at your writing from 2 weeks ago. If you didn't write anything, that's okay. Go ahead and draft 2 to 3 paragraphs today about a real or imagined event. Now, after you've written, go ahead and read your writing. Is it clear? Could it use conjunctions, prepositions, or interjections? Go ahead and add some if it can. Now remember, the goal is for you to not memorize conjunctions, prepositions, and interjections. The goal is for you to know they exist and for you to know you can use them in your writing and how to use them in your writing. If you need to refer back to the list, you can always rewind this video and look back at the charts, or you can go to esl.com and browse their website, explore their website to see what other resources you can find to help your writing. All right, hope you learned something. Hope to see you all soon. Goodbye and good luck.